So one of the things that I wanted to do with this channel is to also talk about a variety of different places that I've had a chance to go and meetings that I've had a chance to attend. You know, as a retina specialist, we're very fortunate in that we have a lot of meetings, and we have a lot of meetings in really great places. We also have a very small group of doctors, both nationally and internationally. I think there's about 3,000 retina specialists in the US, and I'm guessing maybe 300 to 500 in Canada. I don't know the numbers specifically on that. And worldwide, you know, probably under 10,000 retina specialists in the entire world. So it's a close-knit community. We're all very, very collegial, and we have a chance to go to some amazing meetings in some great locations. And one of the meetings that I just had a chance to go to in the middle of February was the Canadian Retina Society meeting. This is actually the second time I've had an opportunity to speak at this meeting, and first time was 3 years ago in a place called Mount Tremblant. I think I'm saying this right. And that's just north of Montreal. It's a great low altitude skiing resort. And it was just this amazing meeting. You could tell that the retina specialists in Canada are all very close knit. They really enjoy being with each other. And they have this unity and that's just even tighter than what we see here in the United States. So I was able to be invited back to give a talk this year at the 2020 Canadian Retina Society meeting in probably my favorite place in the entire world, Banff, Alberta. And if you've never been to Banff, let me tell you, Banff is one of the most beautiful places ever. In fact, the first time I went to Banff was about 10 years ago for a meeting with an organization called Club Vit. And I'll talk about Club Vit meetings in another video. Suffice to say, going to this meeting in July, I was able to just experience the true beauty and nature of Banff. And it had always been a hope of mine to bring my family back there to show them some of the things I experienced when I was there at Club Vit. And I had a chance to do this a couple of years ago, and it was absolutely wonderful. It was during the summer, and I would advise anyone looking at this video or thinking about going to Banff, probably the first venture to Banff should be in the summer. There's so many things you can do, hikes you can do, beautiful vistas and whatnot. Late June, early July, wonderful time to go. Also going to Lake Louise and Jasper, if you've got about a week, was just amazing, amazing. This meeting was in February, and so it's a whole different landscape in Banff in February. First of all, a lot of things are closed, so if you want to go to Lake Moraine, it's closed, so you can't really get there. But you can certainly see some just amazing scenery in and around Banff. You can go to Lake Louise and walk across the lake because it freezes, and just get different views from across the lake, different views of the landscapes. We did a hike to Johnson Canyon where there's multiple frozen waterfalls, and it was absolutely amazing. What I loved about this meeting, beyond just the people who were there, and once again, the Canadian retina specialists are so wonderful, warm, friendly, and collegial with each other, that it is a fantastic meeting. But also the way they organize this meeting. So the way the meeting is organized is it starts on a Thursday evening with some talks and then a reception. And then it goes Friday morning, usually from about 7:30 till 10 in the morning. And then they give you off from 10 until 4. And that's so that if you want to ski, usually these meetings are in February, and they're usually at a ski resort, so it gives you the chance to ski. This year we didn't ski up there. We just wanted to hike around. And then at 4, the meeting picks back up and goes until about 7. And they have a formal gala dinner at the end of things, which is really, really nice. And they keep it very short, which is beautiful. There's not a lot of pomp and circumstance around this meeting. It's very practical from that standpoint. I was one of about 4 or 5 invited speakers from the United States to come up and talk, and there were a variety of Canadian retina specialists who also gave talks. People like Peter Kaiser and Sophie Bakri and Nadia Wahid were there giving talks, and the talks were just perfect. They were very educational. They were between 15 and 20 minutes. There were a lot of surgical panels and things such as that. And so it was on par with any talk or any meeting you would have here in the States, but yet with this very small feel to it. Probably around, I'm going to say 200 people at the meeting. Very well sponsored as far as that goes, but no overt industry vibe. So it didn't feel like there was one company that had a predominance of things there. But the really nice thing about it was just the beautiful way it was organized. So that you could go in the morning, you could hear talks. About the time your attention is starting to wane, after about 2 or 3 hours, you would get a break and you could go drive and hike and do these beautiful vistas. If you're a skier, you could spend most of the day on the slopes, and then you come back together at 4 o'clock and do another couple of hours before then gathering, usually as a large group, to go ahead and have dinner together. And most nights were capping off around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, so you could be in bed early to do the whole thing again. On a scale of meetings to attend, I would say that if you ever get a chance to attend the Canadian Retina Society meeting, certainly if you're a Canadian retina specialist, it's a must. I mean, that would be the one meeting a year I would go to for sure when it comes to things. If you're a U.S. retina specialist, you should think about this meeting. It's a really, really great meeting, and it really expands your group of doctors that you know. Now that I've been to a few Canadian meetings, I'm starting to just become good friends with a lot of these guys up in Canada, and they're wonderful. They're really absolutely fantastic, great guys. And usually it takes 2 or 3 meetings before you really get to know somebody. And so I think that that's one of the unique things is that with this meeting, you'll see the same people over and over and over, and you'll get to know them pretty quickly as far as that goes. If you're looking at doing international meetings, this would be a great first step to getting into the international scene without having to go over to Europe. If you're a European, I would certainly consider, if you're a skier, coming over to the Canadian Retina Society meetings, because some of the ski resorts that they have this thing at are absolutely fantastic. And if you're a U.S. doctor, it's an easy jump over to the border. It's at a time when there's not a lot of other meetings going on, so February is a pretty slow time. For me, that weekend actually happened to fall not only on Valentine's Day, but it was President's Day weekend, and so it was a long weekend for us. So it made it worth the trip up to Calgary and the 2-hour drive to Banff. So anyway, the bottom line is that if you're a retina specialist and you're considering your meeting planning for 2021, and you look and see that February's open, you want to ski, and you want to just really enjoy getting to know new people, the Canadian Retina Society meeting is an awesome meeting and a great chance to expand your horizons and enjoy the winter up in Canada. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to more reviews of meetings, equipment, more surgical videos, and things such as that.